Okay guys, Chef Ro, I'm back, and now we're going to roll out our crust for our apple pie galette. So a galette is just a free-form pie. You'll see when I get it all done what it actually looks like. Much easier to do than a pie dish, like an actual pie, but it does cook in a much shorter period of time, so there's a couple of modifications you have to do for it. So number one, notice that when I put the flour down, I only just barely cover it. All these recipes say on a really well floured surface, but the problem with putting too much flour on the cutting board is that then your ratio of fat to flour will be off and it won't be very tender anymore. Okay, and it'll dry it out too much and you'll overwork the gluten. Okay, now if it's a little sticky on top, that's fine. We can add some flour here and then brush it right back off with our hands. Notice I'm not going to add any flour whatsoever to the rolling pin because then I can't control it. Okay, now I want to work this as little as possible so I don't work those gluten strands. It'll make it less tough. So what I do is I start in the middle and I go forward. Notice I'm not being gentle here. Then middle, and you come back towards yourself. Okay, then I'm going to pick it up and turn it 90 degrees, because by picking it up, I also see if it's sticking on the bottom, right? A little bit sticky still. And a lot of times, you guys, quite frankly, it's sticky because it's not cold enough. Okay, so again, center and out, center and out. Okay, now I'm going to turn it only 45 degrees. This is how we're going to keep it completely round. Okay, doesn't really matter with a galette. That's the nice beauty part of it, but we're going to try for that. Okay, and we're going to go center and out, and then we're actually in good shape. So you see the thickness that we're looking for is about right there. Now, if you notice, this is much thicker, so I can just hit these little pieces here that are a little thicker, get them thinned out a bit, and now I've got my crust. Now, I know you're sitting there going, that's not round at all. It's fine. For a galette, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now what we do is we take that lovely little bench scraper we all have, okay, fold it in half, then we're going to fold it in a quarter. Now this is also how you can get this up and into a pie pan itself. Okay, now that I've got it into a quarter, I'm going to take my sheet tray and I'm just going to unfold it back. Okay, there we go, right on here. Now in my bowl here, I have some apples. Now, remember I said that in a galette you have to make a couple modifications. If you're going to slice them, you have to slice them much thinner than you would for a apple pie, because this is going to cook less time. So those apples have to cook. Or if you slice them, you may have to pre-cook them a little bit, which I do for apple pie anyway, get some of the water out. But for a galette, just cut it smaller or pre-cook them. Okay, so now I've got this all spread out with a border around the edge. And you'll see why in just a minute. Okay, so this is my galette. Now I'm going to take one side and fold it up, but I'm going to leave the center of this open. That's going to help release steam. Okay, then I'm going to take it, and do you see how I'm just basically making some triangles? Okay, and I'm just folding all those pieces up and over, up and over, up and over. Okay, and in we go. So this is what it looks like. Now, we need to egg wash it. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Right now, I'm just going to do egg white with a little bit of milk. The milk will tenderize it and make it brown, whereas the egg white will make it shiny. Now, we're not trying to do an egg white omelet here, so you need very, very little. If you notice, I have just the thinnest coating here of egg wash. Okay. Round, all the way around. And because this is a sweet pie, then the next thing I'm going to do is just take a small amount of sugar Okay, I'm going to take a small amount of sugar and just sprinkle it around the edges. If you have the big crystal sugars like you use for cookie decorating, that's actually really perfect here because it won't dissolve, but this will also work. Now you can put it straight into a hot oven right now, or ideally, in my opinion, what you want to do next is you're going to want to refrigerate it again, because you want this, again, very, very cold and going into a very, very hot oven. So if you refrigerate it for about 20 minutes first while your oven's preheating, then it'll come out perfect. Okay, you can see this is all nice and brown around the edges. I left it in the refrigerator for about 20 or 30 minutes to cool. Then I put it in a 450-degree oven for about 15-20 minutes. Once these edges are brown like this, it is ready to serve. You can put a nice big scoop of ice cream. You're going to want to cut this into wedges just like a pizza. That's generally how this is served.